Some of the first cash studies were of income maintenance experiments. In the 70s, there was, in the late 60s and 70s, there was support for negative income tax and family assistance plan of having something like a universal cash benefit given through the tax system or given to certain families. And they ran a series of experiments in the 70s. Denver and Seattle were the two largest. They're called SIME and DIME, the Seattle Income Maintenance Experiment and the Denver Income Maintenance Experiment or evaluation. You know, I always get part of the acronym wrong. Like, if it's 4 letters, I'm getting one of them wrong. Right. It's going to be spirit, but not letter. You can say for everything. It's either evaluation or experiment. But like, in that one, you know, they did these 2 big experiments. There were a bunch of other ones, but Seattle and Denver were the most generous. And they found, you know, kind of 2 results. One was that there was a reduction in labor supply. Like, people worked less. Certain people worked less. And they didn't look at any like broader outcome of like why they weren't working. Like, it was not like it wasn't that holistic. Like, the most of the study was to see if you gave people a negative income tax, would they work less? And they did. But then one of the other large findings was that it led to a lot of divorce. Oh, it was pretty.
Turns out,
well, I mean, it's really funny if you think of, I mean, like, darkly funny. Like, you've got to really tap this like kind of dark humor of American cultural history plays. But like, one of the things always levied against welfare, traditional cash welfare that was ended in 1996, is that it encouraged single parent families. Because if you got married, you would lose the benefit. So you were going to stay a single mom. So the negative income tax studies basically use the amount of money given to normalize the amount of, to equate the amount of money, to neutralize the incentive to be married or not by giving them the same amount of money. And like a bunch of women left their husbands. And so it kind of presented what should have been the number one research question to come out of all of these studies of like, why are so many women leaving their husbands and like how it relates to income. And maybe that's the reason why we have so many single parents, is because they don't want to be married to these people. Even if you gave them the same amount of money to be married versus not, they chose not. But I think a lot of researchers, like if you talk to more conservative people, they're like, oh, it didn't do anything. You know, the income experiments in Denver didn't do anything and it led people to work less. And then if you add a whole other set of people of like, oh, well, the federal government's never going to fund divorce. So